Good afternoon. It is 4 p.m. We are bringing you the developing news and the stories behind the headlines. This is StoryCon. I'm Regina Lay. Here are the headlines this hour on Tuesday, August 19th. The legal team of Vice President Sara Duterte has filed a comment in opposition to the motion for reconsideration filed before the Supreme Court. The MR lodged by the House of Representatives is asking the High Tribunal to reverse its decision blocking the impeachment trial. But Duterte's lawyers said they will no longer grant media interviews nor issue additional statements to uphold the sub judice rule and the judicial process. The vice president is expected in the Netherlands today, or she is in the Netherlands to visit her father, former President Rodrigo Duterte. And on Monday, she met with supporters in Paris, France, which is her layover en route to The Hague. The Philippines and the United States are poised to conduct over 500 joint military engagements in 2026, including the Balikatan exercises and other smaller military expert activities. These were contained in the 8-star memo and activities list signed by Armed Forces Chief General Romeo Bronner Jr. and U.S. Indo-Pacific Command Admiral Samuel Paparo. The agreement was sealed during the annual Mutual Defense Board Security Engagement Board, or MDB-SEB, held on August 7 at Camp Smith, Hawaii. The Supreme Court has ordered the Senate, the House of Representatives, the Executive Secretary, who is Lucas Bersamin, and the COMELEC to comment within 10 days on the petition filed by lawyer Romulo Macalintal. Macalintal is challenging Republic Act 12232, which postpones the Barangay and Sangguniang Kabataan elections from December 1, 2025 to November 2026. Macalintal is asking the High Court to issue a TRO and direct the COMELEC to continue preparations based on the original schedule. More than 2,400 patients have been discharged from the East Avenue Medical Center under the Zero Balance Billing Program, which covers hospital fees for qualified patients at no cost. That is what the Department of Health reported today when President Bongbong Marcos visited the hospital. Marcos reiterated the need to inform the public about the Zero Balance Billing Program and thanked healthcare workers for their service. And in today's blockbuster hearing, the Senate Blue Ribbon Committee said it will issue subpoenas to the contractors who failed to show up at today's flood control hearing. Only 7 or 8 out of 15 invited contractors attended the inquiry. Senators warned that refusal to cooperate with the investigation could lead to legal consequences. Meantime, still on that flood control hearing, Public Works Secretary Manny Bonoan has admitted that there are ghost flood control projects, especially in Bulacan.
Yung 5 billion na inaward.
Before the Senate Blue Ribbon Committee hearing earlier today, Bonoan said the contractor Wawaw Builders was awarded projects worth 9 billion pesos nationwide. Of this amount, 85 projects worth 5.9 billion pesos were supposedly for Kalumpit, Malolos, and Hagonoy in Bulacan, but some of these appear to be non-existent.
Yung 5 billion na inaward sa Wawaw Builders para sa province Bulacan
First
are
engineering.
all ghost projects.
There seems to be some ghost projects, actually as reported, Your Honor.
Are you investigating this right
Yes,
now?
Your Honor. We are investigating it.
What is the status of your investigation?
They will be coming up with their financial and physical report in 1 week's time, Your Honor, to my office.
Senators also questioned why large flood control projects were awarded to some provinces that are not even in the top 10 most flood-prone areas, such as Cebu, Leyte, and Camarines Sur. But for Senator Mig Zubiri, the DPWH should not be blamed solely, as it is also simply following the General Appropriations Act.
Bakit tayo magpopondo rin sa lugar na ito kung hindi naman po binabaha? It's a waste of money, Mr. Secretary. Waste of time also. Halatang-halata ho eh. Popondohan mo dito, gagastusan mo na wala namang baha.
I agree completely.
What is the logic? Wala sa flood Ba't ka maglalagay doon? Hindi nga siya kasali. Para ba nga nangyari, Mr. Secretary, hindi naman siya nagugutom, doon ka nagbigay ng pagkain. What is the logic?
Your Honor, as I've been trying to explain actually, these are actually, first of all, in the National Expenditure Program that we submit, these are the priority projects that are processed actually in the field. No? In the field. So whatever is the proposal,
The DPWH is not all at fault. Kasi yan, kanina pa, nahiya lang si Secretary, Mr. Chairman. Pero in our conversations together, together with Secretary Mina, namamanggal yung budget. Iba yung NEP, paglabas po ng ng GAA. And the DBM also knows that there's a vetting process. Kaya paglabas po ng budget, iba nang itsura ng budget, wala na po silang magagawa dahil batas po yan. Kailangan po nilang i-implement yun. That's the elephant in the room. Kaya tama si Toby Chanco sa Kongreso kahapon. Ibigay yung mga amendments from the NEP and after the BICAM. Kasi napakasimple lang po yan eh.
Joining me today is Storycon's resident political pundit, Ronald Llamas. I don't know if we have him. Oh, we have him, pero nasa kotse pa. Running late. And still on mute. Okay.
At nakamute.
Sorry, napakalitan ng principal.
Ano ba yan? Gumagalaw naman yung car. So, asan yung traffic?
Ito, kanya nga, pero dun sa Cubao area, hindi gumagalaw eh.
Sa presinto ka na magpaliwanag, as they say. And of course,
Area.
and of course, from the Philippine Star Editor-in-Chief, Ami Pomintuan. Hi, Ami.
Hi, Reg. Hi, everybody. Happy Tuesday.
Napaka-colorful mo naman, Ami.
Siyempre, ang dilim-dilim dito. Mukhang uulan na naman eh.
Ha?
Wala ang paalis na daw si Waning, pero madilim na naman eh. Pero mo, ito,
Chinese na
nakaitim.
mo, attire mo ah.
Hindi, naka-Hermes orange.
Wow!
Pareho ng upholstery, ng Rolls-Royce, ng isang contractor na hindi sumipot dun sa ano.
Excuse me,
sa
Ami.
hearing.
Excuse me, it's Hermes daw.
Hermes.
Pero grabe yun.
Nasa si Ed
Yes.
Tingao. Where is Ed Tingao?
Si Ed is in Davao for this week. So wala siya this week. But yes, grabe yung yung video, no? Ami, with the Rolls Royce.
Mas naniniwala ako doon kay Mig Subiri, no?
Yes.
Siya ang problema dyan kapag lawmaker ang nag-iimbestiga. Tama nga naman siya. Sino ba nag-approve ng GAA na allocation ng public works? Sino bang nagawa nun para maging mas malaki pa sa budget ng education sector, di ba?
Yeah, well, that's why in today's hearing, si Zubiri was echoing Congressman Toby Chanco, hinihingi na niya yung small committee report because it's the small committee daw that made all the realignments.
MIA yung committee report missing in action.
Correct. But mukhang walang
pero may
committee report.
similarity si Toby at saka si Migs. Si Toby, pinapatamaan yung leadership ng House. Si Migs, pinapatamaan yung leadership ng Senate.
Talaga namang siyempre may kinalalaman yung leadership.
Of course, because
titingnan
nag-BICAM
natin.
sila eh.
Sila yung nasa BICAM eh.
Correct.
Kaya nga, sila yung nasa BICAM in the first place. At nag-umpisa nga sa small committee. Nag-umpisa siya sa small committee, pataas. Wala tayong ganun eh. At tama nga, walang record, Ayaw ibigay or ayaw ibigay. Or sabi ni Swansing kasama na daw yun doon sa Committee on Appropriations final report. Ewan ko kung tama yun, Ronald? Would you know about the process sa House?
Hindi ko alam yung process sa House eh. Pero wala silang choice eh. Kailangan nilang ilabas yung committee report eh.
No, Ami,
Public document yun eh.
I spoke to Congressman Chanco separately about this, and I think I know that's what Congresswoman Swansing is saying, nakasama na siya sa HGAB. But the point is, you can't see who asked for what,
Yeah.
who realigned what, and that's what he's asking for. Because if we have the list of who asked for what and who moved what amount of money, then we can ask that person. But at the moment, it's all faceless, it's all nameless, right? So yes, yung sagot ni Swansing is yes, nasa HCAB na siya, na-implement na sa HCAB, but wala naman accountability in terms of paano natin i-trace, right? How did they end up with more money for this, less money for that?
Baka sabihin ng mga congressmen tsaka senators, hindi, pwede ba tayong maging prospective? Huwag na tayong retroactive.
So ngayon prospective tayo, not retroactive, pero pag Supreme Court dapat retroactive.
Biro mo yung yung opening statement kahapon dun sa House hearing, puro transparency eh.
Correct.
Biglang pinasukan ng ganyan. Sira kagad.
Halimbawa, Ami, Reg, sino yung nag-suggest na i-zero yung PhilHealth?
Yes.
Sino yung nag-suggest na i-realign, ilagay sa lump sum yung part ng budget ng defense, ng DNP? No? Sino yung, ganun ba? Ang dami nun, ha? Sino yung gumawa nitong mga unprogrammed funds at ibinawas sa DepEd, etc. So,
Ni sabay kami nga, hindi natin alam. Yan na nga, aminin. Hindi kailangan aminin, di ba? Kailangan ilabas yung record.
Tama.
Kaso mukhang wala na yung record eh.
Tsaka sabihin nila,
Yan ang-
ngayon lang naman nagkaroon ng transparency bill eh. Ngayon lang naman nagkaroon ng participative bill eh. Ano ba kayo? Bakit
Hindi
gusto
bill
niyo-
yan, hindi bill yan.
Batas na.
Pangako nila, hindi, mga speech. Kahapon.
Okay, pero wait, let's take a step back. I-recap ko lang what happened at the Blue Ribbon hearing today. We found out a lot of
Yeah.
things. First and foremost, maraming undercapitalized contractors. So if we could have that chart up. This is from Senator Win Gatchalian's office, wherein we see that at least 5 of the top 10 contractors had severely undercapitalized, were severely undercapitalized. For instance, ng QM Builders, yung latest paid-up capital niya, according to its filings at the SEC, was 1.25 million. But in the last 3 years, it managed to corner 7.38 billion pesos, right? Centerways, that's the one that's connected to Lawrence Lubiano, who allegedly is a campaign financier of Senator Chisa Escudero. Is last paid up reported capital was 45 million pesos. Total projects over 5.1 billion pesos in the last 3 years. 888, you've got 90 million pesos in paid up capital. Again, 3.9 billion pesos in total cornered projects in the last 3 years. Wawaw Builders, na mentioned to today, 50 million, and it bagged over 4.2 billion pesos in contracts. And MG Samidan, ito yung very controversial right now, 250,000 as of last reporting, paid up capital, and it managed to get over 5 billion pesos in projects in the last 3 years. May disclaimer ito MG Samidan because they also, the owner also has a sole proprietorship whose paid up capital is over 1 billion pesos. What's not clear at this point was whether it was her sole proprietorship or itong construction company yung naka-corner ng projects. In any case, it does raise questions. Ang sagot dyan ni Sec Bonoan, first, they have PCAB licenses naman, right? PCAB is the Philippine Contractors Association Board, and to be a government contractor, you need a license from them. Sabi niya, well, they have PCAB licenses. And secondly, it's based on what they call the NFCC, the Net Financial Contracting Capacity. To arrive at that NFCC, you multiply the net worth by 15, according to one of the contractors who appeared today. That's how they come up with that. So the argument being, okay lang na kahit ganun kaliit yung, medyo maliit yung paid up capital, but it's all based on NFCC, which I also think is problematic. Other problems,
So, Reg, pwede tayo magtayo ng company nating tatlo.
Oo nga eh.
pupunta.
Oo,
Hatian
sige
na lang
nga.
tayo. Ha? Tayo
Sige
nga.
tayo.
Story-
250,000 lang flex.
Storycon contractors. Kaya nga eh.
100 kayo ni Ami.
Yes.
Sige. Okay, ako. Sige. In ako, in. Kailangan 5 billion yung una nating kontrata. ha?
Dapat. Oo, dapat.
Oh.
Based times
1% lang yan, ha? 1% lang yan. Walang mag...
based on NFCC naman, di ba? Other
Pero Red, may listahan ba kung ito ba ay may mga nag-contribute sa campaign ng mga politiko?
Wala pa, but they are
Wala.
looking into that right now. Other problems that were unearthed today, there were contractors with poor track records na markahan sila as poor or substandard their work. And then the next step to that was blacklisting. But guess what? Blacklisting is only good for a year pala. Akala ko forever. Pag once na blacklist ka, you're blacklisted forever. Here, according to Secretary Bunoan, you're blacklisted for a year. So you could just serve that time, right? And then bid again. Or what others do is they set up new companies, right? To continue bidding for government projects. Meron pa, as we mentioned, ghost projects in Kalumpit, Malolos, and Hagonoy amounting to 5.9 billion. Not all projects have feasibility studies, according to Sec Bunoan din yan. It sometimes comes down to what was allotted, what was allocated in the NEP, National Expenditure Plan. So parang, to start a project, you don't necessarily need a feasibility study, is what he was saying, which is questionable. But also...
Mahal ang feasibility study, ah. Mahal yun, eh.
Yes, correct. And that's
It
where...
will eat a lot of your 1.25 million capital.
And that's maybe why some of them got away without feasibility studies, right? So, and then finally, meron ding what's known as in-house contractors, meaning the district engineers or their relatives themselves who are in the contracting business. That's what they...
In-house, ah.
Yun yung euphemism for it, in-house contractors or the RDs, the regional directors who are affiliated with contracting companies. Grabe.
Buti pa sa kanila, 1 year lang pagiging blacklisted. Ito sa
Grabe.
Storycon, habang buhay pagka blacklist.
Oo, after strike, ilang ka na? Pag strike 10 for in tardiness, blacklisted ka na. No, I'm kidding. Okay.
Meron na nga diyang meron diyang na blacklist actually ng World Bank. Remember over the road projects? Nakabalik sila eh.
Yeah.
Nakabalik sila. They were able to worm their way back into the contracting business in the Philippines.
But not in the World Bank.
Not World Bank funded. Not World Bank funded. Pero nakabalik
Blacklisted
sila.
na talaga sila ron.
Yeah.
Ah.
Okay, at this point, let's bring in someone who might know about these issues on the ground. Our first guest for the day, we've got Isabela Governor Rodito Albano. Good afternoon, Governor. Thanks for joining us on StoryCon.
Yes, good
Good
afternoon,
afternoon,
Ami.
Governor.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon to all your listeners today, and good afternoon, Ronald.
You saw the President's presentation from a week ago. I'm sure Governor Isabela is on the list. Number 3, if I recall correctly,
Good afternoon,
341...
Governor.
Yeah, good afternoon.
341 flood control projects now since 2022. What do you know about this?
Alam mo, actually, masama loob ko dyan eh. Kasi dapat, instead of number 3 kami dyan sa list, dapat kami naging number 1 eh. Kasi talagang flood prone ang Isabela. Isabela at Cagayan. Ano? Nagtataka rin ako bakit wala sa listahan yung province of Cagayan doon sa mga binigyan ng flood control projects. Pero I'm happy kung 314, but also I'm sad also, no? Kasi dapat mas marami pa.
Dapat mas marami pang projects, sir?
Yes, mas marami pang flood control
sila.
project dun sa Isabela.
Oh.
I'm talking of real projects, ha? Kung real itong mga to, pero kung ghost yung mga yan, ibang usapan na yon. Okay? So, kasi ang Isabela, talagang flood-prone area ang Isabela. You have to understand. We have the Cagayan River. Ang Cagayan River, ang pinakamahabang river sa buong Pilipinas.
Yes.
It goes through Nueva Vizcaya, konti lang sa northern part, it traverses Isabela going towards Cagayan province. So, kami ang pinakamalaking river dyan. Kami nangangailangan talaga ng mga flood control projects. So, at saka tributaries ng Cagayan River, 20 yan. Nasa amin pa yung Magat Dam, one of the biggest dams in the Philippines.
So,
Governor, nabanggit mo kanina na mabuti yung marami basta hindi ghost projects.
Yes.
So, sa assessment nyo dun sa 340 something na flood control
341.
projects, kayo ba ay masaya, kontento, malungkot dyan sa mga quality ng mga flood control projects na yan? Dahil yung iba kasi, ang sinisisi, mga local government units, kayo sinisisi kung bakit daw maraming mga inefficient flood control, corrupt-ridden flood control projects. Anong tingin nyo ron? Kayo ba dapat ang sisihin, mga local officials?
Bakit kami sisisihin? Unang-una, hindi nanggaling sa amin yung pondo. Pangalawa, hindi kami nag-determine yan. Siyempre, ang nagde-determine yan yung national government. Kasi kung titignan mo nga, bilyon-bilyon yung pondo niya. Wala naman kami pondong ganun eh. At pangalawa, siyempre, hindi mo naman mababantayan lahat yan na titignan kung ano ba nangyayari sa mga projects na ito. Kasi meron din kami mga sarili namin projects dyan eh. Ang ano namin, sa akin, ang tinitignan ko yung mga creeks na natabunan. Hindi itong main Cagayan River kasi hindi talaga kaya ng budget ko ang buong Cagayan River na lagyan ng river control. Kung Pasig River lang yan, pwede siguro na maliit lang o yung sa mga maliliit na bayan dito sa Metro Manila, no? But sa Cagayan River, sa lawak ng Isabela, the second largest province, paano mo naman paano mo babudgetan lahat yung mga to? At saka hindi kami pwedeng sisihin ng mga tao diyan sa mga flood control projects na yan kasi alam nila hindi sa amin yan. At ngayon, I'm happy to announce na gumagawa ng study at master plan ang JICA. Dalawa lang ginagawa nila ngayon sa Pilipinas, Marikina River Basin at saka yung Cagayan Valley River Basin.
Governor, we're in the middle of the typhoon season na. No? Kumusta naman po yung performance ng mga flood control project dyan? Itong mga nakaraan kasi may mga typhoon na tumama recently sa norte. Kumusta naman po sa assessment nyo? Maligaya ba kayo sa nagawa ng mga flood control project dyan sa probinsya nyo?
Okay naman, actually, nagtatawag ko ng meeting ng regional office ng DPWH at saka yung 6 na district engineers namin para i-assess nga ano ba ang mga flood control projects dito kasi sila nakakaalam eh. Hindi kami yan. Sila yung kumbaga mga frontliners yun sa mga projects na yan. Saan ba na ilagay ito? Tapos yung mga yan, yung mga projects na yan, kinuha ng mga congressman namin. 6 yung congressman namin doon. 7 yung mga congressman namin doon. Siyempre, hindi ko naman sila pinakikialaman kung ano mang bring home the bacon nila doon sa aking probinsya. Siyempre,
tayo na kinuha po ng congressman. Ano pong ibig niyo sabihin na kinuha ng congressman ninyo?
Hindi ba nag-uusapan natin kung sino yung nag-allocate doon sa NEP at saka doon sa GAA, di ba? Di ba sila yung nag-aano dyan tapos ipapasa nila sa Senate tapos yung Senate ang mag-a-approve ng So, sila yung dyan. Alam mo minsan, naging congressman din ako, minsan pagalingan ng kuha ng budget yan eh. Kasi kung sa district mo, lalo na bali kami, lahat ng lahat ng mga towns sinatamaan ng baha. Nag-erode yung mga sa may tabi ng river, nawa-wipe out yung mga barangay. So, alam mo, yung mga congressman, syempre, pasigatan din yan. Kung gusto mong ma-re-elect next year, syempre, paglalaban mo yung pondo na dadalhin mo sa lalawigan ng probinsya.
So hold on.
Pero kayo po, ano po ang input nyo? Ano po ang input ng governor sa ganyan? Habang ginagawa ng mga congressman yung mga plano nila, kayo po?
Kami sa Kami sa regional...
Ang input ng governor?
Yeah, ang input ng governor dyan sa RDC. kami doon sa RDC, titingnan namin yung mga national projects at kami mag-i-input din. Sasabihin namin sa RDC, ito yung mga flagship na pwedeng dito sa region na ito, sama-sama kami mga governors, magbigay ng mga flagship programs para sa ating Pangulo. Katulad nung nakuha namin sa Tumawini, yung dam doon, flagship project ni Pangulong Ferdinand Marcos yun, yung BBM. Nagkakahalaga ng mga 12 billion na gagawin yung dam dun sa Tumawini, Isabela.
Governor,
Yeah.
let's circle back to what you just said. Can you flesh out that thought for me? Exactly what you mean by pagalingan ng kuha ng budget? What happens in that process?
Kasi di ba yung pie ng government, yung budget. Kunyari, nagsabi yung DPWH, meron kaming 128 billion dito, di ba? Pero ito, hindi pa na-allocate sa mga ibang regions. So, syempre, ikaw, kung may master plan ka o may study na nga, mga iba kasi wala nang study. Wala.
Nako.
Nag-freeze siya.
Ayan. We lost the governor just as he was telling us
Yan
what's
na, okay na.
happening.
Okay.
Governor Albano, sorry, we lost you. Could you
Okay
repeat
na.
that, please?
Yes. Okay. May mga master plan yan. So, pagalingan na lang. Kasi sometimes, ina-allocate yung mga pondo yearly na minsan hindi nabibigyan to mga probinsya to, hindi nabibigyan yung mga ibang regions. So, pagalingan ng kuha, pagalingan ng pakiusap. Or kumbaga, kung sino yung sometimes, kung sino yung nasa administrasyon, ngayon, yun na nabibigyan. Kunyari, sa example na lang, kunyari sa naging presidente si President Ramos before, kadaming naibigay sa Pangasinan, mga projects na ganito, projects na ganyan. Ganun din, nagano si President Gloria, siyempre mauuna yung mga regions nila. Or si President Duterte, makikita mo yung region ng Davao o Mindanao, tinatagtad din nila ng projects. So, ganun lang yan ang nangyayari dyan sa hatian ng pie.
But I also don't think it's fair to push this back to national government kasi like today sa hearing at the Blue Ribbon, si DPWH Secretary Bonoan himself said, well, he relies a lot on the district engineers, the regional directors. And hindi ba itong mga district engineers and directors, they also work closely with the LGUs?
No, actually no. You have to understand, yung mga appointments nila nanggagaling sa Malacanang lahat yung appointments nila, national in nature. So yung mga district engineers, beholden yan sa national, pati yung mga regional directors. Hindi ka pwede mag-appoint ng regional director dyan kung walang clearance din sa taas.
No, I don't mean the appointment. But I mean to say, okay, may district engineer na, let's say Bulacan, let's say Isabela, di ba they have to work closely with
Come
the
again?
LGU
Hello?
din, di ba? Kung sino, I don't mean the appoint, sir, Governor, can you hear us? Medyo choppy si Governor.
Yeah. Sige.
Okay, there.
Okay.
Do we have you, sir?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So,
Yes.
Hindi ko po ibig sabihin yung appointments. What I mean is, let's say may district engineer na, let's say sa Isabela, di ba, they also have to work closely with the LGUs, right? Sa'yo din pupunta yan to say saang projects, which projects should be prioritized.
Yes,
Yes.
okay.
Nawala
Okay,
naman si Governor.
go.
Ulit, Reg.
Governor, did you hear?
Wala naman si Reg.
Si Reg ang nawala.
Ako ang nawala.
Ang tanong yata kanina, Governor, yung
Yeah.
hindi lang yung appointments.
Yung ano?
Ayan na.
Yung tanong, yung kailangan sila makipag-work sa mga local government
Yes.
officials. Tama mo yun.
Yes.
They work through the, dun sa RDC, Regional Development Council, actually. Yung head nila sa Regional Development Council, yung regional head, he works closely with the RDC, which is composed of the governors. Hello?
Yes, go ahead, Governor. Sige lang po.
Yeah. They work through the RDCs, yung mga ano na yan, yung mga district engineers and the regional directors. Meron kaming committee on infra.
Oh.
Sinasubmit lahat yan, tapos national government. Pero ang nangyayari kasi, kahit nadali namin dyan yan, siyempre yung power of the purse, yung power ng Congress, of course, sila yung nag-allocate. Sila yung nagkakaltas, sila yung nagdadagdag kung magkano yung binibigay sa kada probinsya and kada district.
Hindi ba kayo kinokonsulta, sir, kung anong mga project should be prioritized?
Nakukonsulta nga kami sa RDC.
O through the RDC lang?
Yung power, sa RDC, pero yung power of the person, ang nag-aano ng budget, ng pie ng national government, yung Congress. Congress sa success. Yun sa
Nako, we are losing the line again. Governor, do we have you?
That's true. May recommendation kami, pero ang final decision, kaya nga yung humahawak ng purse, ayun ang nasusunod. Yung Senate at saka yung Congress.
Saka yung sa implementation, wala na kayo doon na final say, Governor.
Wala kami sa implementation ng national projects. Hindi namin pinapakialaman yun. Pero pwede kami mag-suggest. Hanggang suggestion lang kami. Ganun din sila, hindi rin nila pinapakialaman yung mga local projects namin within our scope.
As a
By local projects, you mean yung mga waterways na maliliit yun? Yung mga creeks, yung mga canals, yun ba yun?
Yes, kung saan namin na pwedeng ilagay doon sa budget namin. Kasi we also have to work within our budget. Kunyari, ang budget ng probinsya, 5 billion, di ba? At 20% development fund yan, 1 billion lang. So inahati-hati mo yan. Sometimes sa agri, sometimes sa yung economic development fund namin, sa agri, tapos konting infra, yung pagbibigay ng mga yung ng mga irrigation canals. So sometimes doon na pupunta pero minuscule lang yan sa laki ng probinsya. Kunyari Isabela, second largest province yan. So hirap din kami.
But prior to being governor, you were congressman for that district then,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Were there also flood control anomalies back then?
No, wala naman. Wala naman nangyari sa anomaly kasi nung congressman ako, binabantayan ko naman lahat ng flood control projects ko dyan sa district ko. Okay. Hindi ko naman pinapayagan yun, yung mga ghost projects o yung mga sa tanda na namin sa politiko dyan sa Isabela, kung may mga anomalies na ganyan, hindi kami boboto ng tao.
So you're saying so out of these 341 projects that President Marcos showed from the last 3 years, wala dyan ghost projects, walang substandard, walang bigyan ng kickbacks, wala?
I cannot vouch for that. I cannot say that. I've been governor for 6 years pa lang. Hindi ako kasama doon sa 22 kasi governor na ako ng 22. But I can say, during my stint as congressman for about 15 years, I think wala sa district ko na may ghost projects tungkol sa flood control or meron mang substandard na nangyari.
Sa implementation ng local projects, Governor, totoo bang you give priority? Typically, the local government typically gives priority to local contractors. Yung mga nakabase dyan sa lugar ninyo.
Alam mo, may may organization ng mga contractors kada province, kada district. Hindi sila nagpapapasok actually ng mga contractors outside sometimes of pera na lang kung malalaki yung mga contracts. Kasi kung malalaki yung mga contracts, nagjo-joint venture sila doon sa mga kung mapapansin mo diyan sa mga yung mga napangalanan ng mga contractors diyan. Marami diyan kunyari outside their areas marami diyan nakikipag-JV para tumaas yung nila yung para makakuha sila ng mas matataas pa na project, yung kanya mga AAA magiging mas mataas pa para at least makasali sila for experience yan, for ano. Pero kung kunyari, magkaroon sila ng JV tapos hindi na asikaso naman nung partner nila yung ano, diyan nagkakaanoan, diyan nagkakalabuan yung mga kontratista pagka ganyan na nangyayari.
Yung JV, yung ka-joint venture nila,
Joint venture.
kapwa nila contractor or someone in government or a politician?
No, someone in government. Hindi ka pwede makipag-JV sa ano, bawal yun. Agad-agad kung nakita yung pangalan mo. Ano yun, ma-anti-graft yung ano doon, yung politician. Pagka nakipag-JV ka sa politician na wala namang equipment, na wala namang construction firm. Ano yun, bawal na bawal yun. Saka bira naman nangyayari yun, actually. Yung mga ka-JV nila, yun yung mga kontratistang gustong umangat, gustong makakuha ng big projects. Kasi sa kanila, parang napansin ko sa kanila, yung mga contractors, bili ng equipment yan, hindi nauubusan ng mga equipment yan sa pagbibili ng equipment. Tapos sometimes, pagka wala silang trabaho, minsan nakakaano rin sila na sinesweldohan nila yung mga drivers nila, sinesweldohan nila yung mga pahinante nila. Wala naman silang proyekto. So hindi natin ako nakikipag-sympathize din ako sa mga contractors na sometimes nakakuha lang sila ng maliit na mga project. So ano yan pagalingan na lang kung paano sila umangat sa sa business nila. Like any other business, pagalingan lang yan, Ami. Pero yung mga may involved sa ghost projects, ibang usapan yun.
So,
Yeah.
Governor, sorry, we lost Ronald. I was going to give him the floor. Pero, it still doesn't add up to me. Pasensya na ha. Because, okay, let me just recap what you said. You said you've been governor for 6 years now. Before that, you were a congressman. So matagal na po kayo sa Isabela. You're saying you did not see any ghost projects during your time in office. Walang ghost projects and walang substandard projects. And yet, Isabela...
I didn't say na walang substandard projects kasi wala pa ako nakikitang naidemand ng contractor sa akin At saka wala pa rin ako nakikitang mga projects na yung ombudsman or whoever na may nakasuhan dun sa
Okay, yes.
dun sa mga projects na ginawa sa flood control. Except lang itong itong recent yung tulay Pero
Ayun bumagsak.
yung tulay ng Isabela pero yan mag-aano tayo diyan kasi blame game yan lahat nagtuturuan.
Yes,
Tinuturo
correct.
yung
So,
designer,
yes.
tinuturo yung DPWH
Yeah.
at saka nung ginawa yung bridge na yan, vice governor ako noon nung nag-umpisa yan, saka naging congressman na ako niyan. Nung nag-umpisa yung yung bridge na yan.
Yeah.
Ginawa yan for 10 to 12 years or umabot pa ng 14 years na ngayon kasi 2013 nag-umpisa yan 2013 o 2014. So 11 years yan. Tapos bumagsak yung tulay. Actually, nung na-involve ako dyan, nung congressman ako, yung design yan, ginawa ng mga Japanese yung design yan. So, kinapi nila yung design ng isang ng DPWH, accredited designer ng DPWH, sabi nila si Mr. Cañete. So yung iconic bridge na yan, it was the first of its kind na bridge. Pero nung kinopya nila yan, ang supposed to be budget dan, sinabi ng mga Japanese sa akin, nung congressman ako that was supposed to be a 1.8 billion bridge. Tapos nung kinuha nila yung design at naipasa sa DPWH, tinignan nila, sabi nila magagawa nila ng 800 million. So, syempre, sino naman ako para magsabi na hindi, doon tayo sa 1.8 billion kasi Japanese yan, mas magaling yan, mas maano yan. So, syempre, nanaig yung pagtitipid. Kasi makakatipid ka ng, ng 1 billion nga naman sa 800 million. So, nangyari, nakuha yung design, pinagawa dito sa local kasi the Japanese, what they wanted before was they will prefab it in Japan,
Yeah.
the bridge, then they will assemble it here in the Philippines. Kaya ganun kamahal yan.
Yes.
Kaya first of its kind yan eh. Pero kung first of its kind yan, saan ang galing yung design yan, di ba? Siyempre sa Japanese nag-design yan.
Right.
Eh kung kinapin mo lang yung design yan, then you gave that design. It's like getting a design of a car na Toyota Land Cruiser. Yung Japanese na Toyota Land Cruiser. Sabi mo nga, o Toyota something. Kinuha mo yung design, pinagawa mo dito sa local contractor natin.
Yes.
Siyempre, iba na yung metallurgy niyan, iba na yung bakal.
Yes.
So, makikita mo, hindi talaga magtatagal. Parang yung, like what happened in Korea before. They got the design from the Germans, yung Mercedes-Benz, if I...
Right. Governor, pasensya na, we're getting too far away from the topic. And yes, you're correct. Nabalitaan din namin yan na iniba yung design to make it cheaper. But I want to bring the conversation back to flood control projects because that's exactly my point. You said nagtuturoan na, and that's what I feel is happening as well because everyone we talk to keep pointing fingers at each other. National is pointing fingers at LGUs. LGUs are pointing fingers at National. But for you, in your case, for instance, you've been in power for a long time. And to this day, Isabela remains a flood-prone province, as you pointed out. So ano na nangyari sa mga projects dati?
Ando pa rin naman yung mga hindi naman matatapos yun, hindi matatapos yan, yung projects na yun, flood control na yun, sa haba ng Cagayan River, it will take you trillions of pesos to in order to finish those projects in Isabela. Konti lang yung minuscule lang yung 314 projects sa haba ng Cagayan River. You have to understand, Cagayan River is the longest river in the Philippines. And Isabela is the second largest province in the Philippines.
So yung mga nagawang projects before, are they working or
Nandito
not?
pa rin. Yes, they're still working. Ang daming na-save na barangays na hindi na wipe out, at saka ang daming na-save na mga national highways kasi nagkakaroon ng di ba? Nagkakaroon ng erosion, tapos nagkakaroon ng accretion sa kabila. Pagka nagkaroon ng erosion yan, yung palapit na sa mga national highways, lalagyan mo ng flood control diyan. Hindi natin maiiwasan yun kasi kulang ang pera ng government to do all these flood control projects. Huwag kayong magulat na sasabihin nyo na sa dami na nailagay diyan, baha pa rin, kulang pa rin. Sa totoo lang.
Ang tanong nga, Gob, ay kung para sa future, anong assessment nyo dun sa mga nakaraang flood control projects? Ano yung mga strengths at saka weaknesses? At ano yung magiging proposal nyo? Halimbawa kasi nagiging focus ngayon itong flood control dahil marami ay graph-ridden at saka inefficient. No? Kaya nagiging dominant ngayon yung narrative tungkol sa corruption sa mga flood control projects. Halimbawa, sabi nyo nga, ang isa sa pinaka-flood-prone provinces ay Isabela at saka Cagayan. If you have to look back dun sa mga flood control projects, what would you have done differently? No? At ano yung magiging proposal nyo in the middle of this national debate over flood control? Ano ba yung mga dapat ayusin? Lalong-lalo na against ghost projects, corruption, at saka mga inefficient flood control projects?
Unang-una, Ronald, dapat magkaroon ng master plan ang river. Kumbaga yung river basin, ang problema kasi, gagawa tayo ng river basin na authority na hindi naman gumagawa ng plano. Actually, kung may master plan ka dyan, yun lang ang dapat nasusundin mo. At saka kung may master plan ka dun sa river basin, if you have a master plan there, pagawa na lang natin sa mga Japanese. Kasi ang ano yan very tedious yan at saka very expensive gumawa ng study. Yung JICA nga, ginagawa ng study sa amin, yung master plan. Ngayon pa lang yan kasi alam mo, na-postpone yan Nung nawala sila Marcos, nawala yung mga Marcos family, hindi na natuloy yung master plan ng Cagayan River. Ngayon na lang nila ginagawa. Siguro after how many years? 2016 lang yata nila naumpisahan or nagawa itong mga master plan ng Cagayan River. So, sana
in a way, Governor,
Yes.
using the bridge as an example, mas mabuti pa na JICA na lang ang gumawa, kahit mas mahal relatively, at least nakatayo pa yung tulay. Ganun din ang sinasabi nyo dito sa mga flood control. Mas mabuti pa kung foreign development agencies ang gumawa kesa ipagawa sa DPWH na kahit mas maliit ay mas open sa corruption at saka inefficiency.
Alam mo, mahirap din gawin yun, kasi ma-deplete yung resources natin sa Philippines kung ibibigay mo sa mga foreigners lahat ng mga projects na ganyan. Kailangan may balance rin yan sa NEDA at saka may balance rin yan sa finance. Ang sinasabi ko, Ronald, kung pwede, transparent lang yung pagkagawa ng mga ito. May mga rule of thumb naman yan doon sa paggawa ng mga flood control, mga dikes, may rule of thumb yan. I-ano lang nila, i-ikuan lang nila. At saka dapat may guarantee na in 5 years kailangan hindi masira yan. Yun lang ang guarantee natin. Pero pagbigyan din natin yung mga local contractors natin. Kasi kung wala yung mga yan, hindi rin mag-spur yung economy dun sa probinsya at saka dun sa region. Kung binibigyan natin lahat sa mga Hapon yan, wala na tayong pera at saka hindi iuunlad din yung natin. Yung graph naman nasa sa na yun nasa sa values na ng tao yun kung paano nila di ba? Yung magandang statement nga nung Sona narinig ko, mahiya naman kayo. Hindi ba? Yun na yung dapat tumatak doon sa mga politiko, doon sa mga contractor, at saka sa lahat na mahiya naman kayo. Saka
kung walang hiya.
Kung walang hiya, wala tayong magagawa doon. Bahala na Diyos doon.
Governor, ilang beses nyo na po na-defend yung contractors sa Isabela. You're willing to speak up for them kay President Marcos? Because siya naman yung naglabas ng listahan ng...
I'm willing to speak up for them. Kung after yung investigation ng DPWH, kasi meron din mga hindi taga-Isabela na contractors dyan sa na yan Saka may alam naman natin, may mga kilala naman tayong mga contractors na maayos naman yung gawa nila. So, tama na yung blame game. Sana, kung tayo, gawa tayo ng master plan, i-open at sa public, maging transparent, tapos yung DPWH at saka COA. Kasi dapat, magkasama yan, DPWH, may COA yan Sasamahan nila yan yung pag-inspect ng mga projects yan sa mga nagagawa niya. Tapos ma-involve din sana kami mga local governments para at least makita namin talaga na mabigyan kami ng power.
I think, Governor, you also have your own power to inspect, di po ba? I mean, we don't have to wait on national government to initiate the investigations. Because you're on the ground, pwede naman po kayo na lang.
Oo, pwede rin kami. Pero may courtesy din, di ba? Sa mga taga-national, pati kami, may courtesy din yan na sinusunod. Yung parang, tignan din namin yan, tulungan na lang tayo, wag na tayo magturuan, wag na tayo magsisihan, at saka nandiyan naman yung Commissioner of Audit para tignan din kung tama yung mga kundi wala na. Ang mangyayari sa amin, puro bantayan na kami ng bantayan dito para kami naging pulis.
Pero di ba, Governor,
Yes.
medyo weird na kayo yung nasa ground, kayo yung local government, pero very minimal yung powers nyo dyan sa mga projects na yan?
Of course, wala kaming kapangyarihan dyan, Roland, kasi pera ng yan. Kumbaga, pera ng ibang tao.
National.
Pera ng national. Hindi namin pera. So, hindi namin pwedeng mapakialaman.
Pero probinsya nyo yan
ng mga district.
Pero probinsya nyo Kayo yung tatamaan positively or negatively Diba? At the very least, meron dapat kayong powers na oversight,
I mean,
etc.
forget about powers.
No.
It's just...
No.
Forget about
meron
powers.
Powers.
Oh, you
Meron
just have
powers
you just
na
have to have the
oversight.
initiative, right?
Yes, pwede pa nga namin pahintuin ng project kung gusto namin.
Correct, yeah.
Kung nakikita namin na hindi wasto yung Pero kung nakikita mo naman na tama naman yung yung ginagawa nila, yun yung meron siguro meron diyan sa mga may mga rason kasi na pagka kunyari nag-rumble yung Cagayan River, yung talagang malakas ang bagyo, malakas ang hindi maiwasan. Ang nangyari, you cannot blame din naman yung mga contractors o doon sa mga gumawa na, hindi, nilagay na namin lahat Kahit na anong tibay, kung ang ano naman 1 million yung load ng tubig na dumaan dun sa mga banks ng river. So paano mo naman sisisihin
Pero
sila
ngayon kasi,
dun, di
Gob,
ba?
ang nakikita, masyadong maraming mga flood control projects yung mga contractors na talagang hausyaw na talagang mahina yung pagkakagawa. Kaya nagiging notorious ngayon yung mga contractors.
Yeah, totoo yun, Ronald. Ano? Dapat masisante kung sino man yung masisante niyan. Dapat tignan mabuti. Pero may mga institusyon naman tayo na dapat sila yung maghusga dyan. Wala sa kapangyarihan ko bilang, alam mo, hindi naman ako engineer, di ba? Wala naman sa kapangyarihan ko maghusga niyan. Kunyari, yun nga, sinasabi ko sa'yo, kunyari, nilagay na ng contractors lahat ng kailangan ilagay doon sa project na yun. Tapos nagiba pa rin. O paano ngayon yun, Ronald? Sino sisisihin natin dyan? Sisisihin natin yung tubig.
Governor,
you can bring it up.
pahabol ko lang
We can bring up to the national government, di ba? Pag na ganyan yung nangyari. You can report it back.
Yes. No, of course. But what I'm saying is, kung ganun talaga yung calamity, yung kalamidad na nangyari, kung ganun talaga yung flood waters na binaha talaga yon at saka na you understand you're fighting nature here, ha? You're not fighting man-made na pwede kang
I think
nature ito. Kung makita niyo yung pagbabaha ako nararanasan ko yung mga baha sa Isabela pag tumaas yung ilog, bisan at magbukas yung dam, sobra minsan yung ng tubig, yung pag-rumble ng river, wild.
Okay.
Governor, pahabol ko lang ha.
Yes.
Dati kang congressman Ano yung
Yes.
process nyo kapag yung small committee? Meron ba kayong record ng mga ninyo? Ng mga meetings ninyo? Meron bang minutes yun? Meron
Yes. Alam mo yung budget process diyan sa Kongreso. Kaya yung pinaka-huli na inaano diyan yung DPWH, kasi lahat ng congressman nagtatanong, ano yung nakalagay sa district ko? Magkano yung nakalagay diyan? Magkano yung ibinuhos diyan? O yung
Sa small committee ba yan?
Hindi.
Governor, sa small committee nangyayari? Ano nangyayari sa small committee?
Yung small committee, hindi na ako congressman kasi ngayon Yung mga small committee dati, yun yung mga pag may extra, siguro, hindi ko alam. May extra doon sa napupunta doon sa mga leadership, may mga siyempre, kung magaling kang congressman, sa small committee ka minsan, so nakakakuha ka ng extra dyan sa yan. Pero hindi ibig sabihin, Abby, na kung nakakakuha ka ng pondo rito sa Congress, corrupt ka na. Yung kailangan ilihis natin yung na yun. Kasi, pag ang nangyayari kasi ngayon, ang iniisip tuloy ng tao, pag marami kang project, corrupt ka. Hindi ganun yun. Hindi ganun yun sa Pera na lang kung yung congressman, ang kontratista, yun ang ibang usap.
Well, hindi rin naman kami nagsabi, Gov, pero people...
Ibang usapan na sa atin yun.
There are other lawmakers saying that it's very systemic, yung corruption, it seeps through all layers of government. Pero we'll leave the conversation there for now because we've run out of time. But thank you so much for talking to us, Isabela Governor Rodito Albano.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Governor.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you, Ronald.
That's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for joining StoryCon. Ami Pamituan, Editor-in-Chief of the Philippine Star. Ronald Llamas, a resident political pundit na nakahabol the last 20 minutes. Join us again tomorrow, 4 p.m. for StoryCon. I'm Regina Lay. We're One News, all sides, all the time.
Thank you.